Welcome into Gamesthetic, episode 199, the final episode of 2024. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day, whatever day you're watching or listening to this show. Happy holidays. If you're listening to this after Christmas, hopefully you had a wonderful Christmas. I got both the boys here in studio with me. Zach, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I can't complain.
That's good. Neither can I. It's holiday season and stuff. There's some things you could complain about. There's some things you can't complain about. It's just a good time of year, depending, kind of. I'm off work, so it's great for me.
Okay.
So it is what it is. John, how are you, buddy?
I'm here.
He's here. He's ready to go.
He doesn't have Saturday main event on his computer this time around.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm just here.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes with the Game of the Year bracket. Normally, we always do a top 10 list this year. Spicing up. We'll see what we do next year. I don't know. But this year, we do have a Game of the Year bracket with 32 games lined out. We're going to go through it and vote. It is not predetermined at all. We originally wanted to do like a pre-set up, like the first few rounds and only talk about. Didn't have time. Didn't get around to it. Is what it is. So we will not have a show next week. We'll be back on January 4th to kick off the new year with episode 200 with the 2025 outlook and predictions and all that good stuff. So the bulk of today's episode will be the Gamesthetic Game of the Year bracket. I did see Sonic 3, so I will touch on that in a spoiler-free capacity. And then it's really whatever else we want to chat about.
Disclaimer, this is a Gamesthetic bracket. So if you expect things with high scores to be in it, they'll be in it. But not all of them.
Yeah,
Correct.
I was also going to bring that up in a roundabout way of, remember what won our bracket at the first half of the year?
Yeah, I think it was Tekken.
It was Tekken 8. Was Gamesthetic's like
Mid-year
mid-year
game of the year. Yeah, whatever.
So,
yeah.
That's what you're getting here.
Yeah. No, that is very important to establish. We'll go through and we'll establish everything about the bracket before we actually get into it. So I can also use that for the sake of the standalone video that I will cut from the episode. So we'll go through all that. But yeah, they are both correct. It is a Gamesthetic Game of the Year bracket. So games that deserve to get the nod are in there, but they're not necessarily as high as you think they would be in the bracket.
And they may not go as hard as you think they will be.
Yes,
because this is going to be
our bracket.
This is
There
going to
are
be hella
also
biased.
plenty of games in this bracket that you've probably never heard of.
Also true. It's our bracket. All right, it's the Gamesthetic Game of the Year bracket. Can't wait to go over this. It's going to be fun. Make sure to check out our two sponsors, Agent Inc. and Rogue Energy, with our referral links down below. Promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order at Agent Inc. or Rogue Energy, sorry. And also make sure to check out the Patreon. We'd appreciate that extra support. Join the Discord. Be a friend. Tell a friend. All right, let's turn this down. We'll go 3 cams. So I'm excited for the bracket. It's going to be, like they already said, our first bracket for the mid-year thing. That was a little bit chaos, because it's,
You threw it together and John and me just showed up.
yeah,
It was kind of like it felt like a couple hours beforehand. I threw the idea of a bracket out.
Yeah, and I'm just like, let's run with it. Let's because we had nothing to do that day.
He cranked it out. John shut up and went, "Oh, he did that." I shut up and went, "Oh, this is the thing."
Yeah, and Here we are.
I floated the idea, showed up, and it was there.
Yeah, exactly. And so now it's a little bit more fleshed out. We have a graphic. So shout out to that. It's a little bit more fleshed out than last time.
Didn't you hand draw it last time or some crap like that?
No, we just used a website. We just used a website.
Okay.
Yeah. No, hand draw. We do have the board. I could hand draw it.
No, we got your graphic.
Yeah. No, we got the graphics. Shout out to that. But it was fun. It was an interesting outcome. And like I said, for this, there is no predetermined. Who knows what's gonna win? Because I told him the reason why I've got so much stuff set up is because I feel like at any point any of us control each other.
Well,
and who knows what can make it to the end.
Also, this bracket is going to be a little different than the one at the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
because this one has more games that we've actually played.
Yes.
That is true. A very large portion of this list is stuff that we've all personally played. There's only a very, very small handful that we have not played but have watched gameplay on, or just have the respect that it should be in here. You know what I mean? Let's give it the nod that it deserves, just from what we know of the game. So it'll be a fun list. Shout out to that. I guess before we start the bracket stuff, anything you guys want to kind of shout out, throw out into the universe before we dive into everything?
Not really. All I've been doing is playing 1.4 of Zenless. Came out Tuesday.
Shout out to that. Zenless is on the list. So we'll see how far Zenless makes it. What about you, John?
No, I think most of my kind of shout out stuff's already in the weekly
There's a lot in the weekly wrap up this
Yeah.
week. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in the weekly wrap up this week. A lot of interesting conversation around a couple of those. But all right, well,
I guess Marvel Rivals is currently doing its winter event.
yeah, it is. I also saw some. I mean, I saw some leaks.
Yeah, there was a couple leaks that people found.
One of them is so funny to me because it was an ad for the game
Yeah.
that had the Thing and Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Like, it's a literal ad for the game. At the character selection screen, you can see Thing and Mr. Fantastic, or as Human Torch or whatever, as playable characters in this official advertisement. It's just like, okay, guys.
At some point, we'll see them.
Yeah, at some point, you'll get the other three. You'll get the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's really pulling for Professor X.
Ah, dude, that'd be such an interesting character, dude.
There's whenever I started messing with Marvel Rivals, I don't know what my feed thinks I like memes for very specific things, because the only thing I got was for a while with Rivals was Jeff the Shark, and then everyone rooting for Professor X to come grinding into the game.
Dude, just imagine Professor X strutting up in the game in his wheelchair. I would imagine he would be a broken ass support, dude. Like, he would be such a broken support with the stuff that he could do. I imagine like his ult would be something like just a complete freeze in some capacity, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I could see him being such a busted ass character. No, I mean, the slate we have coming up though is actually pretty interesting. I mean, you got Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, the entire Fantastic Four. Ultron,
Doom at some point.
Yeah, Doom. Ultron is a support. Shout out to that.
I could see that.
Yeah, he's gonna send drones to heal allies.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Blade's in there as well. God, who else? There were some interesting characters there in like the leaks and stuff.
Name a character from Blade's Rogue Gallery.
Could not.
Neither could I.
Could not. Could not. But I mean, yeah, no, Marvel Rivals still a lot of fun. I'm bouncing between that and trying to finish Dragon Age right now. So I've been having some entertainment there. I've finally have like very, very comfortably established a character for all three roles. 100% Cap is my tank. I'm currently trying to learn Thor. I've tried everyone else like in a match, whatever. They just don't vibe with me. But Cap and Thor are working for me. For damage, finally found a damage I like with Moon Knight. Moon Knight's a lot of fun. Moon Knight is a lot of fun. I can do some damage with Moon Knight.
Fucking basic bitch, motherfucker.
Hey, look, I'm mostly a tank and support. Okay, leave me alone. I'm still trying to hammer out Spider-Man. Very challenging.
Oh, Spider's very technical.
Yeah, very technical. And
Whereas Moonlight,
I'm very
throw
slow.
Onk, throw at Onk, whatever ultimate, rain hands.
Basically, I have a great time.
You do fuck all.
I do everything. For support, Mantis is a lot of fun. I have completely, hammered the ways of Jeff in all capacity, damage and healing. So Jeff's my boy. Rocket's pretty fun too.
Yeah.
I like Rocket a lot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next round of. Mostly, I'm looking forward to like Ultron, Invisible Woman, and Thing, just because I prefer playing tank and support. So I'm looking forward to those.
Your character's so much different than mine.
I mean, who do you play?
Mantis, Loki, Widow, Hulk, Penny.
We are so on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Who's my other damage? Oh, Namor.
Okay, Namor's actually kind of fun. Yeah, the little bit I play with Namor, he's not bad.
And honestly, I say Mantis and Loki, but I just run the whole support board.
Right. Loki is one that's really interesting because it's one of those characters that's like, it's like you really need like a high skill cap because of his ult. You know what I mean? Because like you can take over anybody.
Oh, just
like,
knowledge. Okay.
Yeah, just knowledge of other characters. You know what I mean? That's like I mean you get Loki, and if you just have knowledge of characters,
Oh yeah, it's so much fun,
dude. You can steamroll.
And the enemy team had an Iron Man and Captain America. Iron Man was ulting. I stole Captain America.
Yeah, there you go.
It would go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's like block your ult, buddy. Oh man. All right. So I figured let's jump into the bracket stuff. So I'm gonna kind of set this up as its own standalone video, not just a clear-cut clip, because obviously it is a podcast clip, but I still want it to feel standalone in some capacity.
So don't yell random nonsense.
I mean, you can. It adds to the vibe.
We're going to.
Yeah, it adds to the
turn it
vibe.
to a video. He can.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's his problem.
Well, look, I wasn't gonna take you guys off screen, so you guys are gonna just stay on screen. So if you guys want to yell something, it's all good.
I'll just kill the mic.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that to you guys. I love you guys. It's a great time to be alive for the last episode of 2024 with quite a stacked bracket of games. So shout out to that. All right, you guys ready to jump into the bracket? Ready to go? All right, let's do it. Clap. Here we go. All right. It is time to crown the 2024 Game of the Year with the Gamestetic bracket, which we've never done before. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got an official graphic planned out here with 32 games, and we're going to go through each one and vote with a 2-to-1 vote and figure out who will be crowned Game of the Year. None of this is predetermined. We did not have any conversation about where anyone's going to go. We're literally just going to wing it. There could be some really troll answers that happen here. We did something similar to this earlier in the year for the mid-year Game of the Year, and I think Tekken 8 won with, I think it was Infinite Wealth in the finals. So it was a time. It was a time earlier this year. So who knows how this is going to go?
I didn't realize that was our final.
That was our final. Infinite Wealth and Tekken 8, both of Zach games.
I remember,
and they came out the same day.
Exactly. I remember that bracket because I'm winning either way.
Yeah. So shout out to Zach, shout out to John. We're all going to be voting on this. It's going to be a great time going through the entire thing. Very excited for this. So let's go through our actual bracket, how we've kind of got it set up, and let's establish that before we get into the voting. So again, this is the Gamestetic Game of the Year bracket. So there's a lot of games on here that just we've played and what we like. So the ranking of everything is going to kind of be askew. So like something like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, while it is one of the highest rated games of the year, and it definitely deserves that nod to make to the bracket, it is lower on the list versus some other games that we really enjoy. The top 6 games that we have are based off who has currently won Game of the Year across multiple publications, and they are kind of ranked according. So Astrobot is coming in at number 1 seed with 4 Game of the Year wins so far. Metaphor coming in at number 2 with 3 Game of the Year, and 3 through 6 all each have 1, with Black Myth Wukong at 3 with the golden joysticks, Balaltro at number 4 with Polygon, Helldivers 2 with Games Radar, and then Dragon Age the Veilguard with Time Magazine. Shout out to that. Shout out to Time Magazine. Beyond there, our rankings, we have 7 with Tekken 8, 8 Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, 9 Unicorn Overlord, 10 Persona 3 Reload, 11 Zenless Zone Zero, 12 Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake, 13 Path of Exile, 14 Pal World, 15 Marvel Rivals, 16 The Plucky Squires, 17 Wuthering Waves, 18 Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, 19 Super Mario Party Jamboree, 20. God, I can't get these numbers right. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, 21 Last Epoch, 22 Esports Godfather, 23 TCG Card Shop Simulator, 24 Backpack Battles, 25 Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, 26 Animal Well, 27 Silent Hill 2 Remake, 28 Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, 29 Stellar Blade, 30 Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, 31 Hellblade 2, and 32 College Football 25. We do have a list of honorable mentions to shout that just didn't make the cut. 1 would be Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, 2 Another Crab's Treasure, 3 Pokemon TCG Pocket, 4 FNAF Into the Pit, 5 Pacific Drive, 6 Mario and Luigi Brothership 7 First Descendant, 8 Sonic X Shadow Generations, 9 Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remake, and 10 Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. So again, we're going to go through this whole thing and vote on it and have hopefully a great time. Boys, you ready to get into the voting?
Why was FNAF Into the Pit mentioned? None of us touched that, did we?
I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, with me and Christine.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, and it was super high rated for this year too.
Oh, I know it was.
Yeah.
I just didn't realize any of us actually touched it. Carry on.
Yeah.
I had never scrolled all the way down to the bottom
You
of the
didn't see
honorable
you didn't see
mentions,
the honorable
so I forgot that Zach was so excited this year for Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yep.
Still fantastic game.
All right, let's jump into the bracket, boys. We'll start off with the top left of the bracket. All right, so kicking things off, we have Astrobot and College Football 25. This is not even fair.
And you made the bracket.
I did, but College Football 25, I mean, it's still the highest selling game of the year so far. So I feel like it had the nod, especially the amount of hours I put in a very short amount of time. I feel like that alone. I mean, I had my fun, so I feel like it made it. But Astrobot is one that I think kind of clears this one. It's a game that I've watched so much gameplay on, and I'm so excited to get my hands on this game and play it. It looks incredible.
Well, I did want to give a little nod to college football here. It's like, because not only did it come out, it's the highest selling game of the year, but also this is one of the few games that I've seen in the past several years that I knew people who didn't play games. They hadn't played games in years, and they went out and bought consoles, bought the game just to play college football. So it's like, it's like even if you're not a sports fan, you kind of gotta give it the respect it deserves.
I mean, it had a legacy pull.
Yeah, it did. It massively had the legacy pull. So like, I really feel like it made the top 32. Versus me putting it up in like the mid 15s. Originally I kind of had it in there, and I'm just like, no. I mean, it deserves to make it, but let's just bump it down to the bottom. That's kind of my last all right, you get in kind of pull. I'm voting Astrobot though.
Astrobot there.
Yeah, I mean, Astrobot to me, that's the kind of the clear winner on things.
Now I gotta ask, did you really make things for somehow if college football managed to get all the way to game?
I 100% did.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I wanted to account for any trolling.
I don't know why you didn't believe me when I said it, Zach.
Everything is set up to account for any form of trolling.
I don't think there's any setup where John and me would have both gone, oh, not Astrobot in that matchup.
I understand. No. So what he's referring to is that for the full bracket, I have it set up where I can press buttons and stuff appears, and we get college football going all the way to the semis. All right? I was prepared for anything.
I understand why he did it now. It's because he realized that was the first thing we were going to talk about. He's like, maybe it'll happen.
Yeah, so I gotta stay ready because originally I want you to know how far I got over halfway done, and I did not have stuff like college football in there. And I got to a certain one, I don't remember what it was, and I'm like, these guys could really troll me at any point. I gotta stay ready because it would be my luck that I didn't have it. We start off with the first one, and you both are like college football 25, and I'm over here like, I don't have anything set up for that, guys. Edited on the spot. It's all good. But, I wanted to be prepared. All right?
Okay.
All right. Moving on. All right. Plucky Squire and Wuthering Waves. How are we feeling?
I feel like this is going to be an argument between you two, and we're going to see who sways me. Okay. I've got no dog in this fight.
I know you don't. Hey, you got a John matchup here in a bit. So shout out to that. I mean, this is an interesting matchup, from what, Wuthering Waves have done coming out this year, and kind of, we saw with the player's voice thing of it kind of taking over the industry. I really feel like Plucky deserved to make it on this board just because of how unique of a gaming experience it was, where at every point the game experience consistently changes, right? And I thought from an art standpoint, from just a gameplay standpoint, I thought it was super fascinating. Obviously, my pick is Plucky Squire because it's the one that I've played out of these two. But what's your take from what you know of Plucky Squire and you obviously playing Wuthering Waves as well?
I mean, me personally with Wuthering Waves, it is a very well put together gacha game in terms of story, characters, overall combat system, things like that for a action gacha game. It was a very good lead-in for me with actually no, Zenless came out before Wuthering Waves, I think, where I touched it.
It was around the same time,
But overall, it's been doing very well. It's definitely taken its spot in the gacha community in terms of Plucky Squire. It is a very interesting game. It's definitely a experience with all the genre blending it decided to do with both 2D, 3D, and just the other shenanigans that game has decided to put into its game. But yeah, for me, it's going to be Wuthering Waves due to its overall story that, I'm going to be honest, when I first started playing was sort of mid, but they managed to pull it around by their 2.0 update, which is coming out soon, and just really drag people into it.
Okay. All right, John, deciding factor.
I'm gonna go purely because I've seen more of it, been entertained by watching what I've seen of it. I'm gonna go Plucky Squire.
Ooh, okay. All right, Plucky Squire moves on. Shout out to that. All right, so boom, Plucky. All right, next up we have Unicorn Overlord, because I forgot the R in the graphic and I didn't feel like updating it. Please ignore that. Versus Backpack Battles. So Unicorn Overlord is honestly still one of my favorite games to come out this year. Like it's at least top 5 for me. I've yet to complete it, unfortunately, but it's such a fascinating game with all the different combinations that you can do and stuff with the ungodly huge cast of characters. Fantastic game. My vote's Unicorn Overlord.
I I never got into Unicorn Overlord this year.
I mean, my thing with this is Unicorn Overlord is a very fantastic tactics game, especially with the whole squads versus just single units, and just how you are able to mix and match to allow sets of complements of passives and actives to complement each other to make very strong units types. In terms of me, the backpack battle is a very resource and strategic placing because it is, if I'm remembering the correct one, it's PvP at times, PvE. I don't remember. Does it have PvP?
So backpack battles is every round is a PvP round.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
And yeah, it's essentially I forget the name of some of these other ones, but it's you have an inventory, you start putting stuff in the backpack, and
now that you're talking about it, I remember you talking about this.
Yes.
Yeah. This is going to be one for me where it seems a bit harsh, but I never got into Unicorn Overlords this year. I'm going backpack battles.
Ooh, okay.
Because Unicorn Overlord didn't do it for me.
I'm sort of on the fence about this because I very much enjoyed Unicorn Overlord, but I am just fascinated and really intense of just the strategic level and just resource management that backpack battle allows just with the space of your backpacks.
The genre itself that game is in is exploding right now.
Oh yeah, it is. Cause
it's like it's been exploding for a couple years. There's another big game that I believe is in early access right now. I think it's closed beta still. New game called The Bazaar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard of that.
It's like that is that's a very similar type of game where you have limited inventory. It's all based on what you acquire and that. So Backpack Battles is a very well done kind of beginner portion to that genre.
Yeah, because there's several games in that genre that have released this year that have caught my eye. Because there's also the there's like the mouse backpack one as well.
Yeah, there's been
which I can't remember the name. So I guess I'll go with Overlord just for story mechanics, though.
Okay, all right. I was thinking, man, we about to have an upset because like that was one of those ones when I was that was one of the ones when I was going through stuff. I did not have backpack as potentially going on.
Yeah.
So I was like, I feel like Unicorn would probably win that one. So it's like again, I almost had an upset, and that's why I'm glad I have all the options.
That's one that came. I figured that one was going to come down to Zach.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so the next one is Infinite Wealth and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Hands down Infinite Wealth.
Yeah.
Is anybody going to argue for Final Fantasy? We're not necessarily a Final Fantasy group here. We don't really get excited. I've been very vocal. I won't be interested in Final Fantasy.
I literally talked about Yakuza last week.
Yeah, I've mentioned multiple times I will not be excited to play any of the Final Fantasy remake games or Final Fantasy VII remake games until they are all out.
Yeah.
So until that happens, I do not have interest in it.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I'll go Infinite.
Yeah, I'm going Infinite Wealth as well. Hey, look, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it made the bracket. All right, that's good enough for it, right? It didn't have to go on. Like, it's fine. It made it. It's all good.
In a normal group's bracket, that thing's going far.
Yeah, but, it is what it is, right? All right, so question before we move on. Do we want to hit all first round across everything first or hit, each portion of each of the four parts of the bracket? I don't care. It's up to you guys.
I don't know what he's talking about. What
he's saying? Do we want to do
all first rounds?
Do we want to do quadrants or do we want to do all first rounds?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, we can just do quadrants.
Okay, so staying on the top left then. So if that is the case, we have Astrobot and the Plucky Squire.
Astro.
Yeah, I'm going Astro. Yeah, well, that was an easy win there. All right, shout out. Let me get the graphic on the stream updated. There we go. And then we have Unicorn Overlord and Infinite Wealth. I would go Unicorn, but I can understand that I'm going to be outnumbered here.
I would be going Infinite Wealth on this.
Kazuma Kiryu every day.
Okay. All right, so I knew I was going to be losing that one, so it's all good. All right, so Infinite Wealth moves on. Let me get that updated on the stream. And then going on, who is going to go to the semifinals? We have Astrobot and Infinite Wealth.
I mean, I'm sticking with Infinite.
Infinite Wealth going far. John? I'm going Astrobot. I'm going Astrobot. So it's coming down to you, buddy.
I think at this point, Astrobot's moving on.
Oh, look at that. Astrobot moving on to the semifinals. And we will see what it's going to go up against, because now we're in the bottom left of the bracket, which that says Astro. Let me fix that. Boom, boom, boom. TBD. All right, cool. All right, so first up, we have Balatro and Stellar Blade. I'm going to go Balatro.
I would go Balatro. I haven't played Stellar Blade yet. This is one of the few games in the bracket I haven't played. I'm interested in playing it, but Balatro is just, it is incredible. I mean, it is one where you start playing it and it's hard to stop.
I actually finally got it last night for the phone, so I started jumping into it.
I would personally say Stellar Blade just because I enjoy the combat.
Fair enough. Next up, Path of Exile 2 and Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Path of Exile 2.
This is one where I think it's like, I'm probably the only person who's actually played Path of Exile 2 here so far. I would 100% say Path of Exile 2.
Yeah.
I've watched quite a bit of both. Path of Exile entertains me more.
So it is very good right now. They have some kinks to work out. It is early access for a reason. They are making a lot of changes as things come up, but that's what the closed beta is for.
So I will say this was just an unlucky matchup. Because honestly, I feel like Zelda could at least have won a round or two. Because it's such an interesting title. But
it is.
Path 2 is just... Even I'm picking Path 2 there. I'm sorry. That was an unfortunate matchup right out of the gate. All right, so let's see. Oh, wrong bracket. Back to the right bracket. All right, so we got Dragon... this is the John one. All right, so we got Dragon Quest 3, HC 2D Remake, and Last Epoch. I think I know where the answer's going, but this is a John one. This is a John matchup.
For this, I haven't finished Dragon Quest 3, but I'll probably go Dragon Quest 3.
Dragon Quest 3.
Last Epoch is a great game. I do very much enjoy it, but it's one that it's sitting on the shelf right now, waiting on them to make some updates to it.
Fair enough. Then next up, we have Helldivers 2 and Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Helldivers 2. I mean, just the memes that came out of that game alone, just the power of of how much it took over the world in February. Got to give it to that one. But I am glad that Prince of Persia had a new game come out this year in January.
Had two.
I did. Yeah, there was that other one, that smaller one. Yeah, you're right. It was like the Rogue Prince, I think. I don't remember what it's called. But no, the Lost Crown, the side-scrolling, Metroidvania play style, a lot of fun. Glad to see that it came back to form, but I'm going Helldivers 2.
Actually been playing Helldivers 2 recently, getting into it with a couple buddies. The game is incredible.
Helldivers 2.
It is. There's a reason why it kind of took the world over, and even now maintains a high player count.
Yes.
Like this morning, like when I hopped on first thing, it still had like 170,000 people playing it at like non-peak hours.
Nice.
I mean, Helldivers 2 is very fun by yourself, and then it's even more exceptionally fun if you're actually playing with people.
Yep. I have still actually yet to play it, but God bless if I watched at least probably 30 to 40 hours of gameplay. Because like anytime I'm doing some work on the computer, Helldivers 2 is actually one I'll throw up on the other monitor and just watch gameplay for it. It just looks like a lot of fun. All right, so sticking with the bottom left of the bracket, the next round we've got here is Balatro and Path of Exile 2.
I'd stay with Path personally.
I would put Path.
Yeah,
Path of Exile 2 there.
I'm feeling Path as well. Balatro, its path has come to a close, unfortunately. Path 2 moves on. And then we have Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake and Helldivers 2.
Look at those four right there. Is that a more like me bracket than that you've ever seen?
Right, yeah, that's probably the most we've had in a while.
Let me get Path 2 moving
That is like... That right there is like my series of games I enjoy.
Yeah, that whole bottom left. Like here, let me go to the full bracket so everyone can watch. Like look at this so
We
far.
found my quadrant.
Yeah, look at that bottom left of John.
I know I got some more in there somewhere on the other side of the bracket, but damn, that quadrant is all me.
Dragon Quest 3 HD remake.
Okay, Dragon Quest. Where are you leaning? These are both your games, bud.
I'm probably going Helldivers here,
Ooh,
just because
sound to
like
me.
Dragon Quest, I haven't completed it yet. By the time I complete it, it might take over.
See, I'm feeling Helldivers 2 here. I like Helldivers 2 here. I like Helldivers 2 moving on. So, yeah, let's keep rocking with it there. Boom. And then we've got Path of Exile 2 and Helldivers 2.
Path.
Another John matchup here. This whole quadrant, bro. I'm gonna really put the deciding factor for you. I'm gonna go Helldivers 2.
Yeah, I knew you were.
Yeah.
This may be a bit surprising for you to put Helldivers.
Oh, okay.
Purely because of the fact that Path of Exile 2 still has...
Yeah,
it's still
early
very
access,
early.
yeah,
It's still
that's
very
fair.
early on. The game is incredible right now. They're still working out a lot of kinks.
Yeah.
Okay. All
It's
right.
It's
like-
understandable.
It deserves the mention of it being out. It is... I mean, there are so many people playing Path of Exile 2 right now.
Yeah.
I love the game. I was playing it right before I came over here, actually.
Yep.
And it's incredible, but it's undercooked right now.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, it had a good run, and we are now finished with the left side of the bracket. So our semifinals here is Astrobot and Helldivers 2. We'll come back to that one here in a few minutes. Let's go to the we'll go to the top right. We'll go to the top right now. Let me update that little text file there. All right. Cool. All right. So top right, we have first up Metaphor and Hellblade 2. Metaphor.
Okay, that's an uneven matchup.
That
right
is a
there.
fair-
Amongst
un-
us, yes.
That's a very uneven matchup. You know?
I do like that Hellblade 2 gets a mention
Yeah.
here.
I mean, because from my understanding, it was fantastically done for
Yeah.
the continuation of the series. And I mean, overall, everything that I saw in just trailers and whatnot looked fantastic and gameplay and all that fun stuff. But Metaphor.
Yeah, Metaphor moves on. That was one of those unfair matchups.
This is one of those where it's like, it's an unfair matchup. I didn't say a word, and I see Metaphor on the screen.
All right, next up, Marvel.
They brought in a rapping monk.
Drew. All right, next up, Marvel Rivals and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
This is on you guys. I'm going Rivals.
I'm sparking.
I'm
This
going Rivals. Actually,
I know you were going Rivals. I know. I know you are. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, that was another bad matchup. Look, I've played more Rivals than I have Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. That's where I'm.
It's because it's the new Overwatch. Because
It doesn't matter what it is. He just plays things that are familiar to him. Why do you
Wow.
instead of playing the new games that came out this year, he played fucking Mass Effect again.
I did play Mass Effect Trilogy again.
Games he several games on this list already. He's gone. I haven't
John,
beat
you played RuneScape again this year.
very little.
Very little he defends himself with.
But hey, I played more new games this year.
That's
though.
fair.
And I'm not using the excuse of I still need to go back and beat these games while I'm actively playing a game series that I've beat like 12 times.
That's funny. No, like honestly, you look at like some of the in terms of completed games this year, 4 of the games that I beat this year are all games I've played before with Persona 5 Royal and the Mass Effect Trilogy. So it's just one of those years, man. It is what it is. All right, leave me alone. All right, next up, Persona 3 Reload and TCG Shop Simulator. What a matchup.
What is this matchup?
What a matchup.
I mean, I'm going to go with the TCG Shop Simulator because, I mean, I played Persona 3 Reload. I didn't.
I'm going to be telling this is a bad matchup because I've played 3 so much, so I'm going to go TGC.
You know, I was going to go, Persona, obviously, because it's the one that I've played, but I'm not upset with it because, like, Playing Persona 4 Golden, 5 Royal, and 3 Reload this year, 3 Reload was my least favorite of the 3. Good game. Other 2 are better. So I'm not upset with 3 Reload. Yeah.
Literally 3 was the base point for 4 and 5.
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand why people hold 3 in such high regard.
Oh, it's solid.
I see it. I get it. Understand it. 4 Golden, 5 Royal. In my opinion, landslide's better. So it's whatever. I get it. You know, it's all good. I'm not messed up about TCG moving on. Let's have some fun. It's an upset, baby.
I've tried to play like 3 different Persona games now.
Yeah.
I just think I don't like Persona games.
Yeah, no, it's not you.
Yeah, I don't think they're
Don't
for
worry,
you, bud.
John. The fan base is getting to the point where we're like with Persona, we need to leave the school.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people just want to go to college at this point.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we've had 5 different schools. We've
Yeah.
murdered a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people either just want out of school or they want to go to college, one of the two. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. I've seen some of the conversations like, the whole point of Persona is that coming
Of age,
that
yeah.
coming of age story. It's like, I mean, I get it, but yeah, it's whatever. Anyway, so moving back. So yeah, hey, that was an upset though. Shout out to that. Love that. Love upsets. So now we got Tekken 8 and Animal Well. Also a really unfortunate matchup.
I mean, I'm going Tekken 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tekken 8. That was an unfortunate matchup.
It
there.
is what it is sometimes. I don't think have any of us touched
No.
Animal Well?
I want to so
Yeah,
bad.
we have yet to touch it.
It
so
looks incredible.
Maybe if we had played it, it might take a spot. Not for Zach, but
it's one of those that was one of those bad matchup ones. It just luck of the draw, man. Sometimes you get luck of the draw, sometimes you don't. All right, so staying in the top right section of the bracket, we got Metaphor and Marvel Rivals.
Metaphor.
Yeah, give me Metaphor on this one.
yeah, Metaphor. I'm done with Rivals up there.
Yeah, I mean, look. Wow. All right, look,
I haven't played it. I haven't played Marvel Rivals. I haven't played Metaphor either. One of them is, I mean,
Metaphor is
it's fantasy Persona.
It's
It
exactly.
is, yeah.
Metaphor is the equivalent of the Persona that we want to get as being out of high school.
basically,
It's fantasy Persona versus
Overwatch Club.
a different brand Overwatch, and I'm not into either.
Look, I'm glad Marvel Rivals won a round. That's cool because it's a fun game, but it didn't need to go any further. I would have shut that down if it tried to go further. Like, it's got to stop. All right. Then we got TCG Card Shop Simulator and Tekken 8. Man, what a matchup. What?
I'm gonna continue pushing it. Tekken 8.
John, what are you going to do?
I mean,
I see that troll look in your eye over there.
Tekken moves on. I don't know how far it keeps going after this.
Oh, it doesn't go far.
I don't know if it keeps going far, but at least the winner of the first half of the year makes it to the semifinals of its own bracket.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's moving on in life. So shout out to that. It did win the mid-year, and now it's moving on. All right, so going down to, oh my gosh, what happened here? Lord have mercy. There is all sorts of things on the screen that's not supposed to be on the screen. Jesus Christ. All right, we'll just update it as we go.
Did you break it?
No, I guess it just, text file's not updated. It's fine. We'll update it as we go. It's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's burning. All right, next up we have Wukong and Space Marine 2.
Well, that's an unfortunate matchup for Space Marine 2. I mean, Wukong, but
Yeah, give me Wukong.
these would be 2 games that would be fighting for their.
I was about to say, I would feel like they
tops.
would be higher up in the bracket together.
Yeah,
Right.
should be like a semifinal matchup in
Right.
a lot of brackets.
Because, I mean, I haven't played Space Marine 2, but everything I've seen is so good.
It's so high on my list of games I want to play.
Just the gameplay, the voice acting, just how everything just pans out in Space Marine 2. Like, god dang. It makes people want to go play the first Space Marine and realize it's not that hype. It's still a solid game, Space Marine is, but not as hype as Space Marine 2.
Yeah, like Space Marine 2 is. I was one of the ones pushing for it to be on the bracket.
Yeah,
make
you
sure
were
it got
set
in
up.
there because I'm like this didn't get like Space Marine. It was kind of when it came out, it was kind of in an area where several games were popping off at the
Yeah.
same time. Space Marine didn't spend as much time at the top as it deserved, but everybody who's played that game like marks it as one of the best games. of the
Oh, or
year.
even seen stuff from it.
It looks so good.
It's definitely a sleeper head of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Black Myth Wukong.
All right, next up, Pal World and Super Mario Party Jamboree.
Power World.
Yeah, I'd put Power World.
Yeah, I'm going to agree on that one. I'm glad Mario Party Jamboree made the list because it is a very fun game. Probably one of the best Mario Parties I've played, but it needs to get knocked out round one. Yeah, I think we can all agree to that.
And Power World currently making slight adjustments to their gameplay mechanics.
Yep.
To differentiate itself from Nintendo
Appease
suits.
Overlord Nintendo.
Basically, I see how like the pals just kind of pop up now.
Yeah.
Yep. So it is what it is. All right, next up, Zenless Zone Zero and Esports Godfather.
F you.
Oh man, that's a fuck you, Zach bracket. I'm throwing up Esports Godfather.
Zenless.
Why are you putting it on me?
Because
you made the bracket.
I did not. I just made the list and then things fell into the bracket. That's how it works.
Yeah, this is on you now, Alex. Esports Godfather, I will say, it's like, just to give a little background on it, it's a weird game to describe.
It is.
It is you manage an esports team, so it's management, the actual it's team management in between matches and during the matches. It is a deck building card game.
Yep.
And it's like it's one of the games I was the most excited for this year. It was like Wukong and then Esports Godfather for me.
It's such a nice blend of resource management, strategy, drafting in a game, which John and me played the heck out of the demo. I still have not gone myself to actually pick up the full game, which is a shame on me.
Yeah,
because
the full game itself is incredible. There's a lot more content, and as you continuously progress throughout the seasons, because you start out trying to make your way into an esports league, and then you play through that league, and as you play through it and eventually win that league, and then go into the next league, like the matches and everything change because new characters for the MOBA get introduced at different points in time. The rule sets update, and how the games are actually played update, which kind of changes strategy a little bit in it. It is one of the best games that I have played this year, full stop. It is one of my favorite games.
And then for me, Zenless is by far my top game of the year because I've been playing it nonstop since it came out in July.
So that's your number one for the year?
I mean, in terms of what I've played and put time into, yeah.
Oh, okay, but not your favorite of the year so far.
No.
Okay.
I mean, because I've been playing it since July. We just hit 1.4. It's just been getting better with each update, with quality of life, things like that. Even though people like to claim it's a gooner game, I mean, it's solid. Combat's fun. Overall, more or less overhaul of each character's introduced, allowing more versatility and things like that. They're adding consistently more content, so there's stuff for all of us in-game people to be able to do stuff and not just dailies and whatnot.
No.
Yeah.
You both have made a strong argument for both. And so you're esports Zenless.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This was a hands down. I knew where John and me were.
Yeah, this was like I did play Zenless. Zenless was my first
Gotcha.
I've played gotcha mobile gotcha games. I've played before, but this was my first Hoyoverse type game of their series. I did enjoy it, and I was having fun while I played it. I forget what came out. Something came out.
Something came out real quick and just took your time.
I was gone.
Yeah.
Oh man. Zenless Zone Zero or Esports Godfather? I'm gonna go Zenless Zone Zero.
Woo!
It was the expected pick to win that round.
I almost said esports.
It's
because that's one that after you guys talked about it, I actually went and favorited the game as a part of my wish list. I'm gonna pick this up eventually.
This is one where I think if Esports Godfather was up against just about anything else on this side of the bracket,
you and me would have been on the same side.
Yeah, you put it in the one scenario where me and Zach weren't gonna immediately just push it to the semifinals.
Look. No intention on making that.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, if it was anything else.
Oh, yeah. If it was against anything else, John and me would have pushed that so hard.
I know you would have. Look, not intentional. Look, all I did was make the list 1 to 32, and then I just put the bracket together based on how matchups go in a 32-team bracket, right? So it's just how things fell, okay? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. All right, next up, Dragon Age the Veilguard and Silent Hill 2. I'm going to go Dragon Age the Veilguard. The further that I've gotten into this game, because I've been playing it a lot recently, This is one of my favorite games of this year. I love it. Black Myth and Metaphor still better for me. Dragon Age is right there behind them. I have absolutely loved this game.
I'm about to get back to. I got some time off coming up in the next like couple weeks where I'm taking a few days off. I think I'm gonna try to pull myself away from Path of Exile 2, and if I manage to do that, I'm gonna get back to my Dragon Age playthrough because I want to continue it.
Right.
And yeah, like you said, I was having a lot of fun with it. I don't remember how far I am in the game, but it was one of those where I bought it and I kind of started it and I was like not having the most fun with it at the very beginning. The more I played, it was literally one of those where it's like hour by hour, my enjoyment of the game was increasing every little bit that I played it.
Right.
So yeah, I would go Dragon Age as well.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I would say Dragon Age as well, as much as I want to say Silent Hill 2, just because it is a phenomenal brought up game.
History of it and
with
everything.
the remake and everything.
Yeah.
Making it so much more better and accessible and not confusing of why you didn't get the true ending because you didn't stare at a picture for every goddamn 20 seconds.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm having a blast with it. I don't know if I would imagine I'm over halfway done with the game. I've reached the point of the game where it's like, okay, yeah, we kind of failed here. All right, yeah, we're probably not going to win this unless we like settle all of our own problems, our own issues, and settle issues of all these factions and stuff so they can help us. So,
oh yeah, where you kind of at that point where it's like,
all right, time to address a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
Time to do some cleanup.
It's
exactly.
It's like this is clearly not. It's like we got lucky for a bit. Shit fell apart.
Yep.
We got to sort this shit out.
Yep.
And then we'll go back after we've sorted it out.
Yep. Correct. So
I think that's the same point I'm at.
Yeah. So the exact point that I'm at is my next quest is going to help out with the Veil Jumpers with something. So I took that as a pause and I started going through every single section and I'm clearing every side quest possible. So I've cleared everything around the map. I'm now at the Rivian coast, clearing that one, and then I'm going to the forest, and I have to go to Crossroads too, where the Veil Jumper's main quest line is in the forest. I'm gonna go over there, clear all those side quests. That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
I've been doing side quests nonstop, which side quests have been very good.
Yeah, because I'm at a very similar point. I'm still working on all my companion quests.
Yeah,
like in that same point.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I've been having a blast with it. I was super happy to see that it won Game of the Year somewhere. Shout out to Time. Because I was that's how I was trying to formulate this top, is I was researching, okay, who's all announced their Game of the Year picks so far. There's still some being announced like later this month. And I saw, as I'm scrolling through this
Time magazine.
Yeah, it's like Time magazine, Dragon Age. I'm like, what? I was like, that's all right. Okay. I didn't even know they did Game of the Year.
Neither did I.
So shout out to that. All right, go back to the bottom round of the bracket. We have Black Myth Wukong and Pal World. Give me Wukong.
Give me Wukong here. I probably played Pal World for a lot longer, if I'm honest. But yeah, Wukong. I mean, it's a game me and you waited 4 years on.
Yeah.
We waited 4 years on it. It finally came out, and it was basically everything we wanted it to be.
Yep.
Pal World lost by 2 years. Because I think it was about 2 years ago I first time mentioned it.
Yeah, it was. Next up, we have Zinland Zone Zero and Dragon Age the Velguard. Well, I feel like my stance on this is pretty clear based on what I just finished talking about. So that's my stance.
I know it's going to move on, but I'm going to say Zenless for the hell of it.
Zenless, you had a good run.
Oh, man.
Yeah, give me Dragon Age there. I would have thought that when Dragon Age first came out, like, because it was one of those ones where it's like it only got negative news, but then you looked at what the people who were playing the game were saying, and it was like, they weren't saying a whole lot. They were just leaving positive reviews.
Right.
And it's like now here we are. It's in the semifinals of its bracket.
Shut out. All right.
Most people on Xbox were just complaining about it.
That is true. I did see some of those complaints.
Yeah,
they were dumb complaints.
Yeah, it got a lot of It got a lot of negativity when it came out, and it was one of those where it's like, okay, but yeah, everybody who's playing the game and kind of sitting here just chugging along, mostly only has nice things to say about it.
Yeah, if you actually just play the game. You'll have a great time. And now we're this is a brutal matchup. Wukong and Dragon Age the Veilguard to move on to the semifinals. Also realized we didn't get the Metaphor Tekken matchup earlier. We'll come back to that in a sec. But Wukong and Dragon Age the Veilguard. This is a bad luck of the draw.
I would like for this matchup in particular, I'd say give me Wukong.
What about you, Zach? How you feeling?
Oh, I mean, I'd stick with Dragon Age because I'm a Dragon Age person.
Crap. Give me Wukong, but that one pains me. I guess it pains me because it's like a little bit of recency bias, since that's all I've been playing is Dragon Age.
Yeah.
So that one hurts me quite a bit because I've been having a blast with Dragon Age recently. But Wukong was, like John said, we waited for it for a long time, and it was really everything that we wanted it to be. The gameplay experience was incredible. So
you know what's funny about Wukong? The other day I saw, I don't even know the streamer's name, but someone making similar comments like us, someone in their chat went, "Yeah, Wukong lost like a ton of his player base." The guy went, "Cool. That means absolutely nothing."
Yeah, people finished the game. I mean,
it's a single player experience.
What do you expect? It's not even an open world game. Like, what do you expect?
He was like, "It's not a live service game. It doesn't require its
not
player base to
multiplayer.
be."
It's not live service. It's a linear game. Like, what do you expect?
It's just funny just seeing people who are sensible just be like, "Yeah."
I just wanted to touch on Wukong and Dragon Age here because I did speak pretty highly of Dragon Age. Wukong I enjoyed. The main reason I put Wukong over Dragon Age is Dragon Age, like I said, I'm trying to find time to get back to it right now. And I'm probably less than halfway through the game. When Wukong came out,
no life
there was nothing pulling me away from it until I got to basically the end of the game.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, it's kind of one of those where I kind of struggle with it in a lot of games of like finishing a game. I can't go back and immediately play stuff again and to do like different endings and stuff like that. I struggle with that a lot of times.
Yeah.
And it's one where I'm pretty much right there at the end, and I kind of don't want to just I'm at the point where I'm kind of like, I should beat it, but I don't want to because I don't want it to be done. Because I know once I beat it, I don't come back to do additional endings.
Right, yeah. It's funny because, Christina's the same way for stuff because still, like, I think 2.5 years later, she's still setting like 2 chapters away from finishing Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and she refuses to finish it. She's like, because that means she's like that's because it's going to mean it's over. I don't want it to be over.
That was me. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, you beat it over and over and over again, playing it different ways. I beat it one time.
Yeah, and you're like, well, I love my Black Eagles. I'm not moving on.
I beat it the one time. I wanted to go back and play it more. I struggle to go back and play through games like that.
Yeah, I understand. All right, so let's go back to the top right of the bracket, which all got messed up again. All right, whatever. All right, Metaphor and Tekken. We'll go to the full bracket. This one's not messed up. Here we go. All right, Metaphor and Tekken. How are we voting on this one, boys? This is a hell of a matchup, too. Zach, I feel like Zach experienced the same thing I just experienced.
No, not really. My mind's gone in a different direction.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, how do I finagle Wukong into the finals based on what you guys say?
Well, I know a way because
I know how it gets there,
and I could help with that because I'm thinking of similar issue. But I'll stick to what I should pick, and I'll go with a Metaphor.
John,
we know you're gonna say Metaphor between these games. You haven't even played Tekken.
All right,
we know Metaphor is moving on from there. Tekken moving on is how I finagle Wukong into the finals, probably. But I will say it's probably where I have to admit defeat on that one.
And my mind was going, I could push Tekken, and John will probably push it with me. But then it's up against Wukong, and I can't get the mid.
Yeah, you will win that.
I can't get the mid-year to win all year.
Tekken had a good run, though.
This is a crazy top 4, actually.
I mean, it really is. Let's go to it. I mean, we got Astrobot and Helldivers 2, and then we got Metaphor and Wukong. Which, realistically, isn't that crazy, though? Because
it's not.
Well, no,
like, these all have one game of the year.
It's crazy because we got there.
That's true.
Yeah, versus our mid-year one, which was like, what the hell were we doing?
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, like, Trails Through Daybreak made it really far. I mean, Infinite Wealth, Tekken 8. I mean, there was a lot of wild things that happened with that one.
Turnip Boy won a couple times.
Yeah, Turnip Boy robs a bank, whatever that, whichever one it was, that one won. It's like that was an interesting bracket looking back on it. Those mid-year brackets are gonna be fun to do every year. All right,
Yeah.
so
Which side you want to start with?
let's start with the left. Astrobot, Helldivers 2. Who's moving to the finals?
I'll start us off.
Okay.
Helldivers 2.
Fuck. Fuck.
The funny thing is, I was thinking Helldivers as well.
Are you locking in Helldivers? Is this about to happen?
I'm gonna lock us in Helldivers, and here's gonna be my biggest reason for locking in Helldivers over Astrobot.
Wow, here we go. All right, let me go ahead and update this text then.
Helldivers over Astrobot for us in particular, and I have a very simple reason why. I've played Helldivers. Have any of us played Astrobot?
I mean, and that's sort of where my thinking is as well. It's like Astrobot, from what I can see, looks like a phenomenal platformer, but I still haven't touched it. And
I haven't touched it. It looks incredible. This is the point of the bracket that I thought we might get to, and
Have to make a call. Yeah.
I'm making the call for myself, as I feel it too disingenuous to put a game that none of us has played
See,
into the finals.
The funny thing is, this left side, neither of these games I've played, but I've watched an ungodly amount of content on both games. So that's where it's weird for me personally,
Yeah.
too.
in which Helldivers 2 I have played. I had a phenomenal time playing with John and whatnot, and just the overall, each progressing in difficulty, just leveling up and things like that. How they do their garrison thing, I forget what it's called.
Well, Helldivers, they have like a bunch of different progression systems. Their war bond system is kind of like their battle pass system, where you have a free one that you gain access to, and when you actually complete it, you get enough credits to unlock any additional one that you want from there. And they also have it where once it comes out, it you always have access to go back to unlock any of them that have come out. The gameplay is fantastic. The progression systems are great. As you ramp up the difficulty of it, it just gets crazier and crazier.
Just
Played
overall the world, how they've decided to do it and everything with like the weekly and monthly missions of how the territories are expanded. I think your mic got shut off or something.
Yeah, they have dailies, weeklies, monthlies for stuff, daily missions for like getting certain number of kills or doing certain
how
missions.
the community reacts, because like the biggest thing I always see that pops back in my feed from Helldivers 2 is that over getting a tank stratagem, they chose to save fictional children who are in danger, which then the Helldivers 2 devs then donated money to a charity in respect to that choice that the community made.
That's what's up. I respect. That's straight up respect. I respect that.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just one where, as good as Astrobot looks, and I've watched some gameplay on it, we've all heard how good the game is. I cannot, in good conscience, put a game that none of us have played into contention for top game of the year.
Right. And, I can respect that. Because like I said, this was a conflicting one for me because it's like, while I've watched a lot of both, I haven't played either. So it's like, I get what you're saying.
And I've over the last few days, I've actively been playing Helldivers 2 a lot.
Yeah, you told me. So I mean, I think that's a very fair vote. No, no hate on that one. And then we'd have an ungodly brutal matchup. Like Jesus Christ,
This one's on you, Alex.
This is on you because we know where he stands. We know where I stand.
I mean, I actually beat Metaphor this year.
Yeah, I haven't beat it yet. Metaphor and Black Myth Wukong. This is brutal. I know it comes down to me. I don't like that. I don't like it coming down to me. I'm not a fan. Both are fantastic games. They are both respectively my number 1 and number 2 games of the year. But the funny thing is, they're in a situation of as much as I praise Black Myth, it could honestly flip on what is number 1 or number 2 for me. Just kind of, I guess, depending on my mood. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because there is that difficulty swing for Black Myth, right? Where it's it's still fun. It's rewarding. It's I can play it, thankfully. It's not Elden Ring or something, or Sekiro, where I literally can't probably play it, right? I can play it, have a good time. Then Metaphor is, the story alone is just like phenomenal. See, Black Myth for me is just a big gameplay thing. The gameplay is unbelievable. The graphics, whatever, everything about it is incredible. The story, it's fine. It's, I think even me and you agreed to that. The story's fine.
The story is what you make of the game.
Yeah.
It's like there's a story there. You kind of, it's like you get a bit of it here and there. You kind of read between the lines, but it's the story you make of how you play the game.
Yeah. God, man, because I'm not kidding. These are really like, they could both be number one for me, but they're number one for completely different reasons. And with that said, I feel like for me to make my pick here to decide what moves on, I have to go with, I guess, what I favor more with gaming, and that is the narrative. So I'm sorry, John. I think I might pick Metaphor here.
Hey, from the moment this started, or like from the moment they were up there, I knew I was losing 2-1 to Metaphor.
It's close, man, because I really want to say Black Myth just because of how that's the best gameplay game I've played this year. But I'm a player my big focus in gaming is I want a phenomenal story, right? Like while I haven't beat Metaphor yet, I am pretty far into Metaphor right now. Like I love the narrative for it. It's an incredible narrative. I mean, is it not? I mean, they've done a phenomenal job.
It's a solid.
That's just what matters more to me with gaming is I want a strong narrative. With a very heavy and broken heart, I'm gonna have to say Metaphor moves on.
Just want to point out, 4 years ago, this man said Black Myth Wukong Game of the Year,
and here we are.
And yet, here we are, 2024. I said at the beginning of the year, and I'm saying it at the end of the year. One of us stayed true.
And that crossed my mind a lot just now. It's like, I need to pick Black Myth just because of what I originally said.
This was one of those where when Metaphor came out this year, like the reason I expected you to say Metaphor over Wukong is mainly you played more of it. It's more your style game.
Mm-hmm.
It's your style game. Your style game is not Black Myth Wukong. Your style game is Metaphor.
You're not wrong. It has become quite my style, especially with just how let's just say how much
recent year.
Yeah, just recent year. I mean, just how many times I've played Persona 5. I played Persona 5 3 times in a calendar year, and then I played Persona 3 Reload, Persona 4 Golden, and now I went through Metaphor.
Yeah.
So
did you actually finish Golden?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I loved Golden. One of my favorite games of all time. Absolutely loved that game.
I remember you saying you were going to start. I just didn't remember you ever said you finished it.
Yeah, I got it for Switch and I played it there. So I bought the physical copy with limited run, but I kept it sealed, and I bought just a digital version from Walmart. They had it on sale for like $10. I was like, oh yeah, I bet, cool, great time. I'm sorry that I didn't stay true, John.
I'm just looking at it. How many people do you think in their final 2 games that they would put in contention for Game of the Year, or the top 2 games of the year, is going to be Helldivers 2 and Metaphor?
More people than our mid-year one.
Like our top 4 is a respectable. I feel like almost anyone would have these 4 games in top 4 of the year.
Yeah.
The top 2 is a little more unique, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Metaphor could definitely be there. Helldivers 2?
Depends
Hey,
on...
it won Game of the Year somewhere. I forgot where.
It depends.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. That's why I got ranked so high. Yeah, Games Radar Plus. They gave it Game of the Year. That's why I got the 5th seed.
The thing is, Helldivers ranks higher for people who prefer cooperative gameplay.
Yes, most definitely.
If you do not like cooperative gameplay, Helldivers 2 will not rank high at all for you.
No.
Yeah.
But it is possibly my favorite style of game.
Right, that's fair.
I mean, the unfortunate thing is I'm more of an RPG and strategy person, and I've been a long time Atlas fan. So Metaphor was probably always going to make it. For me, I enjoy both the co-op aspect of Helldivers 2 and just overall its whole way of how they decided to do their community gameplay, the whole factions thing, even like the stuff they've added with the 2 bigger updates they've released afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
They've had updates afterwards. Even just recently, they had a partnership with Killzone.
Yeah,
where they were there was
Yeah, because I've been seeing a lot
Cosmetic.
of that stuff.
there was like cosmetic events, and people complained about the pricing of cosmetics for the event, and like or like the pricing of, I think it was guns and cosmetics and things.
Yeah.
And they gave their reasoning for it. They were like, well, if we charge more for some of this event stuff, we can give you more base game content for free. Or it's like we can continue to add more content to the game for free instead of having to charge you for it every time. So some of these optional things we prefer to have you pay for, but as a token of faith, they gave everybody them free.
Yeah.
So it's like we got extra guns, we got an armor, helmet, cape, everything for free like 2 days ago. It was all stuff that was supposed to be paid for.
Yeah. Oh, shut up.
Where you going, Alex? There's a very clear path that you should take here.
Very clear path, huh? John, what's your pick then, buddy?
And
my
it
pick
very
is-
much could lead you to the true path, the prince.
My pick is Helldivers 2, because as stated, I am not... Atlas does not make my preferred style of game.
Yeah.
Metaphor, I can respect Metaphor. Metaphor was my dark horse for the Game Awards Game of the Year.
Yeah.
I can respect what they've done. I know it's like, and I know that they make their style of game. It looked incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who's played it has said nothing but phenomenal things about it.
Their menu designers are starting to hate the company.
True.
But
True.
yeah. But on the other side of the bracket sits a game that I very much enjoy and is one of my favorite types of games to play, which is cooperative with friends.
And honestly has had one hell of a up and down year with just slews of stuff that's happened with
Yeah,
Helldiver
true. It's been an interesting
since
year for it.
February.
So it's like I sit on the Helldivers side of the fence.
And I sit on Metaphor. Atlas makes my type of RPGs. It's very solid.
And there is a very clear position where I believe you should be sitting. But I'm gonna
You already believed that last round.
I'm gonna let you make your pick.
Let you stew in your thoughts.
oh, God.
'Cause, I mean, Metaphor was exactly what it came out to be, what I personally hoped for. Out of us, when we guessed our ranks, I was the one who thought I was being hopeful by saying 90, and then it magically managed to get a 90.
Yeah, 94, actually. So shout out to that.
Gameplay is solid in terms for an RPG, turn-based RPG. Overall story is very good. The side quests are very entertaining. The overall progression system of the archetypes, skill progression. The only one issue I really had with Metaphor, for just being someone who's played so many Atlas games, was the end story very much landed in their safety space. And as soon as I saw the turn for it, I went, God damn it, Atlas. Because it played out exactly how I expected it to.
Yeah. Oh. Tough call. Let's go for an ad break. Check out some Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below, promo code SPARKY3 to get 10% off your order. Whether if you get the hydration line, the chill line, or the energy line, the tubs or the cans, we'd appreciate that support using some Rogue Energy referral link, promo code SPARKY3 to get 10% off.
You gonna put that in the video too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Had to take the ad break. Well, this is a situation of a game that I have not played versus a game that I've played. This is a situation that I just overcame of gameplay versus narrative. I favor narrative, but this is also a game that while I have not played Helldivers 2, I've watched an ungodly amount of content of Helldivers 2 because it looks fun as crap.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to cut in here. You can't argue narrative versus gameplay for a game that you have not experienced the gameplay.
Especially a game that you haven't experienced the gameplay. And I mean, the narrative is very niche.
That is true, but it's very
like
good.
Helldivers has some of the most fun gameplay, especially when it starts getting chaotic.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and speak to it. Because it is it's one where watching it, you think you understand how chaotic it actually gets.
No.
It is. You were underestimating how chaotic it actually feels to be in those moments where you are being swarmed by giant titans, bugs. You're being attacked from all sides, and you're just trying to find a way back so you can call back your allies and hopefully survive the next couple minutes. It is just pure chaos at
Bad
points,
shit crazy,
which is incredibly fun, but also incredibly frustrating at times. Like even earlier, it's like we had a mission. It's like we were playing a mission. We were getting swarmed at the extract. All of us getting kind of frustrated. The moment we got out of there, everybody was laughing, having a great time, talking about how much chaos there was there and how fun it was. It is more than it looks when you actually sit down and watch a video. It's hard to explain that.
That's fair. Well, I can obviously watch it to an extent, feeling it's totally different. So I get what you mean. All right, we're locking it in. We're doing it. For the Gamesthetic Game of the Year, the first Game of the Year bracket for the final, actual Game of the Year.
Tekken A!
Black Myth Wukong!
Okay.
No.
That's your fault. It's not. It's your damn fault.
The sad part is I'm probably going to sit here an hour later and probably regret that. Because like I said, Metaphor and Black Myth is a coin flip for me. So give me 2 hours, John, an hour, and I'll probably regret this decision.
Well, that doesn't matter now.
I know, it doesn't matter now. Give me Metaphor.
I was going to say, this guy's talking about Metaphor and Wukong flip-flopping for his number 1 and number 2 game of the year, and he's debating about Helldivers.
I'm trying to give it the respect that it deserves, and I'm trying not to just stab you in the back, John, because I already stabbed you in the back last round.
You look at those 2 games sitting there. What do you think's gonna happen?
We all knew. I was trying to not stab John in the back
I've
again.
known since Metaphor was at the top and Wukong was at the bottom what was gonna happen.
It's there was only one path, and it required me to really want to push Tekken 8.
It was either gonna be me and Zach trolling you, and him hoping I would continue to troll you.
Yep.
Or because it really is a coin flip on for you, which probably hour by hour whether you pick Metaphor or Wukong.
No, you're 100% right.
But
literally an hour from now, I'm probably gonna regret this entire bracket.
But the other way that I look at it, and the reason why I figured you would go with Metaphor over Wukong is I believe that 3 months from now you will have one of those 2 games beaten, and it won't be Wukong.
And I'm in agreement with his statement.
Wow.
And that's not speaking badly on you. It's just
I get what you mean.
You'll play Metaphor because that you like that style game. It's easier to come by.
Just think about it. I mean, you haven't finished Black Myth Wukong or Metaphor yet, but you're currently about to finish Dragon Age.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you'll probably go back to Metaphor and play through it, and hell, next year you'll probably play it again instead of playing a new game.
That could or could not be true. We'll see. We shall see on that. There's probably a better chance I'm gonna play another Persona playthrough.
I was about to say that's probably more because after me beating Metaphor, I don't know. I just didn't really have the draw to want to do a second playthrough like a Persona game does.
Yeah, but he'll probably play through. He'll get the want to play Persona 5 again, and then he'll probably play through some other Personas, and then he'll go, maybe I'll like Metaphor. Maybe I want to play Metaphor again. Maybe I'll feel differently about it.
The only other Personas he's going to play are going to be the spin-offs, because I highly doubt he's going back to 1 or 2.
Yeah, I don't have access to 1 or 2, so.
You do, but
I know from you, but.
But anyway, so yeah, we got Metaphor takes home Gamesthetic Game of the Year.
That's a respectable winner.
I'm going to be honest, our bracket's much more sane than I expected it to be.
I actually agree to that. Honestly, looking at how things kind of played out,
Zach, if that right side of the bracket was ordered slightly differently, this would be a weird bracket.
Oh, it would. If any of that left corner bracket, which is literally just your domain,
it was basically like we had me
was spread between
corner.
the rest of this could have been such more of a wild bracket.
My bracket happened to there were pieces of it here and there that intersected everywhere else, but there is very much the centralized. I claimed that all of these games were this good, or they were all equally good here, and Yeah, I kind of just had to fight myself for a while.
You really did. You really did.
I'm perfectly happy with how my quadrant worked out, though. I wish Esports Godfather would have been able to make it a little further.
Yeah, that was
That was a bad matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was literally just a thing of if it matched up with any other game, I would have been with John on that.
Yeah, that was just a bad matchup, unfortunately.
It was a bad quadrant to be in, honestly.
That was honestly a pretty brutal quadrant. I mean, that was the toughest one for me.
Oh, the right
personally.
quadrant, yeah.
Yeah, the entire right, the bottom right specifically. I mean, that was a tough one. Even top right ended up pretty tough with Metaphor and Tekken. I mean, just top to bottom, tough matchups. But overall, pretty solid bracket, I think. I mean, respectable Final Four, respectable winner.
Zach, I got a question for you.
Stop.
Imagine Esports Godfather was in that top left bracket, that top left quadrant.
Oh, we would have killed Astro so hard.
I would have been outnumbered brutally.
We would have ended up with Esports Godfather versus Helldivers 2 going to the finals.
And I would have actually slightly been conflicted on that one. Because I would have probably chosen Esports Godfather over Infinite Wealth.
See, that's the stuff I was prepared for. Why I had every single game potentially moving on.
It's that weird thing of like if that was on the other side of the bracket there,
yeah,
we very likely could have had Esports Godfather in the finals.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about, honestly.
Because the thing is, like you look at it, it's like Helldivers 2 is a great game. I had a lot of fun with it.
I'm gonna be honest.
Esports Godfather's probably
would have pushed it to the finals, John.
Esports Godfather is probably the second best game I played this year.
It's definitely in my top 3 of the year.
Just let that sink in, everyone. So go check out some Esports Godfather. It's pretty cheap on Steam. Go play it. Have a great time.
I think there's probably been like 12 episodes this year where I've talked about that game, hyped it up. And
yeah, we've talked about it quite a lot this year.
Quite a bit. Yep. Go play it. Go check it out on Steam. Go check it out.
Very confusing. It doesn't have a great tutorial, so
They still haven't updated it.
no.
Shit, we had to play for it when it was still in Chinese.
Yeah, they didn't. The original demo for it wasn't fully translated.
So we just had to roll with it.
Had to wing it. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Well, anyway, like I said, the first bracket for the Gamestetic Game of the Year has come to a close. We'll see if we do this again next year. If maybe we just go back doing something else. I don't know. We'll see. But if we come back next year, let us know in the comments below. Number 1, what your Game of the Year is. I'd like to know. Number 2, and what do you think of the bracket? Did you enjoy the bracket? And what do you think of our winner? So yeah, made all I did in this video. Thank you so much. Gamestetic Game of the Year, Metaphor. I thought that went well. I thought that was fine. I thought that was a good time. There was obviously a lot of work that I went into beforehand. Just
most definitely.
On the case that there was trolling. But at the same time, like I know, like it would, there would have been so much easier if we did kind of preset some rounds. But I don't know. I kind of like just going through the whole thing.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I like going through the whole thing versus kind of presetting some rounds in advance. But I don't know. I like the bracket thing. The bracket thing's fun. But I'm still in the boat for next year. I would love to do our own like small game award show, like a 10-minute pre-recorded video. I can be the presenter. You guys just help me get the categories and it could be just 3 games per category, but I'm still down to do something like that. It's something small. It doesn't have to have 20 something categories. You can have 5 to 10.
Well, yeah. I mean, we could do something like that and still do a bracket.
You're right. Yeah. Because a bracket for the live show.
Because one of them would be, it's like one of them would be like us looking at like, okay, what are the best games of the year? Yeah. And then the bracket is more of what are our favorite games of the year?
That's pretty much.
Yeah,
that's what our top 10 used to be. This is just a more interactive way of doing it.
Yeah,
instead of being in a Discord call arguing for 2 hours, we argue for an hour on
air and make it more entertaining.
Yeah.
And just honestly, that's why I like the bracket more.
The bracket is fun. The bracket
make it
is
as biased as possible.
Yeah. No, the bracket is really entertaining, very busy this week, so we obviously didn't get a chance to hop into like a quick call to at least hammer out the rankings.
I think I messaged you. It was like yesterday night when I got home and I messaged you on Discord and I went, hey, I'm just now looking at this.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
he messaged me just like earlier this morning when I messaged him a big picture of a big ass Deku.
Oh yeah, you sent me a Funko. Yeah. Like I kept remembering at random spurts in the week, which has like prompted a couple messages, But like, I meant to actually get the list together Monday night. Like, Monday night, I meant to get like the graphic done, the list done, and then I just got busy all week. So it was just one of those weeks. Holiday season, just very busy right now, especially with work.
One thing, I don't know if you put anything in there for it, but I wanted to bring it up because you messaged me about this the other day. Honoring the fact that Helldivers 2 is runner-up Gamesthetic Game of the Year. Sony released a Helldivers 2 DualSense controller.
True.
Up for pre-order.
It looks nice. Have you seen it?
That
I'm pulled up.
The
You know,
DualSense.
I don't watch controllers like you guys.
It's up for pre-order, or it was up for pre-order on the 20th, I think it was. Yeah, yesterday is when it went up, and I think it officially comes out in February, like February 6th or something. If that date's in my head for some reason.
February 6th, yes.
And
That's not bad.
No.
I did pre-order it. I had it on my mind to do it.
Yeah.
Forgot about it, and then he messages me as soon as it goes live.
Nice.
It's just sending me a link to it, and I'm like, "Why are you trying to make me spend money?"
Exact words. Why are you trying to make me spend more money? I said, because I love you. I'm just trying
And
to
then
help.
I had already pre-ordered it by the time I messaged you, I think.
You know what's funny? He's getting that controller. My first purchase the next year is going to be Honkai Star Rail Physical Edition on PS5.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Up for pre-order. Shout out to that. I thought that was a pretty cool little collection that you can get because Christina wants it, so I was thinking about picking that up for her.
Almost definitely. I mean, I'm gonna pick it up. I don't have a PS5 still yet, but I'm still gonna buy it because I missed the chance to get the physical copy. I think they did a physical copy of Genshin one year. I could be misremembering that. I may be thinking of something else.
Also, on the controller talk, shout out in that same thread of conversation, John said, "I just bought another Xbox controller."
I was
too.
about to bring that up. Yeah, I had already just purchased another Xbox controller. That's not where I bought it from. It's just a screenshot that I found online while I was messaging you back and forth.
Yeah, the Gears 5 controller. Shout out.
It just popped up.
Yeah.
I wasn't even
one. It looks nice.
wasn't even looking for it. It just popped up. It was cheap, so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll buy
You're
it.
not even a Gears fan, but the controller does look.
See, that was my first
nice.
thought. Is like the guy who like actively hates Gears because of his experience into Gears buys a Gears controller.
You make a clean controller, I'll buy it.
I mean, look, he's got the Redfall controller. You know,
The Redfall controller.
they are sick.
They were good.
They are very, very good.
It's a really nice controller.
It's the only thing we'll ever defend about Redfall.
Yeah, good controllers. Yeah, absolutely. Can't complain about those. All right, let me hit one last sponsor shout out, and then we can kind of talk about whatever. Got Agent Inc. Make sure you use the referral link down below. Pick up one of our hats or one of the jerseys, and we'd appreciate that. It's a great gift for the holiday season. You get a trash can hat from Spark U3, so definitely pick it up with the referral link down below. You guys got anything that you guys want to chat about before we start going through the weekly wrap up?
If you haven't gone back to Pokemon TCG, they just released their booster pack this week of Mystical Island.
Yep.
Featuring Mew, Gyarados, Celebi, and
Marshadow?
Marshallow's not an EX, but Marshadow is OP.
Yeah.
I want to say Aerodactyl, but that doesn't sound right.
Didn't they have another Pidgeot card?
Oh yeah, there's Pidgeot EX as well with blue.
Yeah. Pidgeot, I think it's technically pronounced. I'm not sure.
Aerodactyl's a Pokemon, right?
Yeah. It's a Gen 1 fossil.
Yeah, Aerodactyl EX, who's bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Because once he's in play, you can't evolve any of your Pokemon.
I haven't seen the card. That's dumb.
Once he's in active position, you cannot evolve Pokemon with cards in your
Don't
hand.
you have to like evolve him from the fossil, like the Amber or whatever?
Yeah, but it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's not. But that's crazy.
And that's just his effect. Once he's on the field, you cannot evolve your Pokemon. So if you're not set by the time he comes out,
good luck.
Goodbye.
Good luck, buddy.
You best have a Sabrina to push that shit off.
Also, later in January, the end of January, they're also releasing a full new set on TCG Pocket as well. Like another one that'll be like the Mewtwo, Pikachu, Charizard one. So it'll be 3 packs and everything. So shout out to
that. For anybody that is a PC player, the Steam Winter Sale is going on right now. We just had the fall sale a few weeks ago, but Winter Sale is officially going on right now. Plenty of good stuff on discounts. I haven't bought anything yet, but I'm already kind of stocking up a cart to buy some stuff.
Nice. There are a lot of good game sales across the board too. I've been kind of checking out for stuff. I mean, a lot of newer titles currently on sale, like Life is Strange, Astrobot, being a couple.
I was about to say, still a lot of games on sale after Game Awards and all that fun stuff.
Hey, I know it came out in January, but it was in the bracket. But hey, like Prince of Persia is like $15 at a few places. So I mean, that'd be a good little pickup if you're a fan of Metroidvania games. It's a very good one. Lots of good game sales across the board right now, from what I've noticed. So that big shout out to that too.
I'm starting to try to pick up Switch games.
Yeah, good.
Because I decided I wanted to start using my Switch more, and it's like the one console that I buy physical games for.
Yeah.
So picking a few things up here and there.
Question, Alex. Did you end up buying that Shin Megami game?
The what?
The Shin Megami game?
Oh no, I really want to though. Vengeance. Yeah. No, I really want to.
Well, no. Not Shin Megami 5. The one you sent me on Black Friday. The Shin Megami.
Friday.
I'll have to look it up because I can never remember the name.
So this was an older one that I sent you.
Oh yeah, no, because it's one of the obscure ass ones.
Oh, so like the 3DS or DS or something, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but no, I did not pick it up. No, I don't remember what it was.
You make
because it was from probably from Video Games Plus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Shout out to Video Games Plus. They have a lot of good sales going on right now too. Check them out.
Strange Journey.
Yeah.
Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey.
No, they've had a lot of stuff recently that I've wanted to buy that I just haven't pulled the trigger on. I think they're out of stock now, or they may have come back into stock. But a couple things they randomly had around Black Friday as well, which I know you would have them, but obviously I don't. I think it'd be kind of just a fun thing to have. Is they had PS2 Persona 4 and PS2 Persona 3 FES for like $30 a pop, and I'm just like, I kind of want to grab that just to have it.
If you had sent me a link to like original Persona 3, I would have bought that up immediately.
Do you not have original Persona 3?
Not original. No. Original is hard to find now because they stopped production after FES.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean, those were just a couple things they had. They ended up selling out of those, but I thought about buying those because they just come across stuff like that. They sell, fun to have. Because like one fun thing that they were selling with a Sega Atlas cell that I bought just for shits and giggles. It's sealed. I don't think it's original seal. I'm going to have to go look. I can't remember right now off the dome if the side of the case is sealed. But they had PS3 Sonic 06 for like $3, which fair pricing. And I was like, fuck it. Why not? Just grab it, throw it on the shelf with my other Sonic stuff. Be fun to have. But it's wrapped. It's sealed. I can't remember if the side case is sealed, though. I'd have to go look at that. But either way, it's just kind of a fun, dumb little fun thing to have. But lots of good game sales right now. You guys ready to get through the weekly wrap up and finish up the final episode of the year?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. The first thing is Sonic 3. I did see it on Thursday. It was a great time. I said in our Discord, which you should join, by the way, link down below, that it was, peak movie, peak fiction, greatest movie of the year. It was a very good movie, though, in complete honesty. If you are a non-Sonic fan, I mean, dude, at the bare minimum, I feel like you can get like a 6 out of 10 experience out of this. I'd say like a 7 out of 10. It's just a fun ride. I will say there are points in the movie where it does kind of tell, it's as all three of them do. It leans into, keep in mind, this is a kid's movie. There's some fun, goofy stuff, here or there, especially with like Eggman and everything. But, Act 1, incredible. Act 2, very good. Act 3, unbelievable. I mean, just top to bottom, all 3 acts of the film was fantastic. Keanu as Shadow was great. I wanted to like come in here and just kind of like, you guys know how I am. It's just like, I feel like this isn't a big deal to say. And so I really don't want to say anything. There's a lot of stuff in this film I feel like you need to experience, kind of thing. A lot of fun references throughout the film. There's one line early in the movie that was literally basically word from word pulled from an iconic line of one of the Sonic games. And as soon as it was said, I'm just like, that's awesome that it's in the movie. That's great. Love that. Random, very, very random fun fact. In an indirect way, Sonic 06 is in this film. Something that originated in Sonic 06 is in this film. So shout out to that. It's front and center too. Front of the screen, a character does something, and the thing that character does, that whole idea and concept of it originated in Sonic 06. Shout out to that, I guess. Sonic 4 is already confirmed for 2027, and the directions for it obviously is very clear based on the end credits. End credits was incredible. The post credits, I mean, that was absolutely insane. Loved that. Top to bottom, great film. If you're a Sonic fan, I mean, look, dude, it's a 10 out of 10. I mean, everything that you would want out of this film, everything the previous films lacked are in this film. If you're a Sonic fan, you'll love it. If you're not a Sonic fan, it's worth a watch because you'll just have a fun time. You know, it's a solid, at minimum, 6 out of 10 for you because it's just fun. It's dumb. It's got a lot of great action, great scenes, great comedy. It's a good time. Check it out. Sonic 3 is also doing big numbers right now in theaters, as to be expected. I also thought this was interesting that it actually got critically reviewed as well. It got like an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, that's interesting. It's in the last two got like tanked at like a 40 something, but okay, whatever. But no, audience score is like a 99. Critic score is like an 88. So it is a very good movie. Definitely check it out. Still talking about Sega. Sega is apparently considering its own Netflix-like subservice for video games. That's interesting. Don't know. All right, so
we don't need more services.
I agree.
No.
Like, well, I mean, look, we had like some sort of conversation, like a what if or whatever, and I think I floated out. It's like, man, Sega would be the only one I could see going back to like the console market because they just have a huge list of like successful IPs, but obviously it's never going to happen. I feel like this kind of feeds off that idea. Like they have a huge list of successful IPs. So they're just kind of thinking, hey, let's put all of our games on a subservice. But that's stupid.
The problem is, it's like if they want to do like a subscription type service like that, it's like, well, what are you up against? Well, you're up against every streaming platform that we have to pay for currently.
Yep.
And your main competitor is going to be Game Pass.
True. Which, good luck. I mean, say what you want about Xbox as a brand, but Game Pass is incredible. So,
So I mean,
Yeah, it'd be pretty rough for them.
I wouldn't want to see it happen.
yeah, no.
Honestly,
I don't think anyone does.
they have a better shot if they still want to do that, starting off where Capcom currently is.
Right. Yeah. True.
And Capcom just shoveling them out.
Right. So I don't know. Interesting little tidbit that came out. Hope it's not real. This was really interesting. So Balatro is now rated 18 plus. The rating boards like PEGI and stuff like that gave it the official rating of 18 plus. Basically because it's, playing cards and there's like in-game gambling essentially, but it's not real currency.
Yeah, it's a game about gambling.
Yeah, it is. So it got the 18 plus rating, even though there's no actual money being put into it, which brought, Local Thunk, the creator, to kind of fire back in a very funny way.
It's a funny way, but man, he rips them apart.
Oh, he's rightfully pissed, and I love his comeback. Since Peggy gave us an 18 plus rating for having evil playing cards, maybe I should add microtransactions, loot boxes, and real gambling to lower that rating to 3 plus, like EA Sports FC. Damn. Fair point, my guy. No, I mean, I think that's crap that it got rated 18 plus. Like, why? I know it's about gambling, but there's nothing that you actually gamble.
Well, it's because gambling is considered to be one of those things where they automatically want to rate it that way for it. But if, like he says, if you're truly gonna make any sort of gambling be that, any game that has loot boxes has to be that, because that's actual gambling with real money.
And has been established by multiple courts that it is a form of gambling.
Right.
Yeah. So it is unreasonable that, because, I mean, it's one of those things where the game blew up, and realistically, it could be a thing now where kids who've heard about the game and want to play the game won't be able to because it's rated 18 plus.
True.
And they would have to get permission to be able to actually download it and play it.
Yep.
And somebody who isn't going to look into it or like just gets their phone put out and says, hey, can I buy this? And they see 18 plus, they're going to go, no.
Yeah. Especially when they see like playing cards, like poker.
Gambling.
Immediately. Yeah, no. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So very unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that I'm glad the game already kind of blew up and has made waves. Hopefully this nonsense gets taken care of.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because like one thing also, like what you said about like people kind of maybe coming to the game to try it out. I mean, it getting like that TGA nod for Game of the Year and it winning some other like indie Game of the Year, and it won another Game of the Year with some publication, Polygon, I think as it was. I mean, it's going to further bring more like players to maybe want to check it out, younger players at that. So again, hopefully this gets settled, because that is stupid. I understand it's poker. It's like, oh, evil gambling, but there's no gambling in the game. Like, what are we doing? So I don't know. That's just silly. Hopefully it gets settled. So here's a rumor. Apparently, Oblivion remake announcement's coming in January at Developer Direct. Heard about this remake obviously a while ago. This is happening. God, please let this happen next year. God, please.
It has picked up steam in the last day or two. Like,
please.
It's like people finally started hearing about it.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like.
Yeah, now they're just really pushing and hoping for it.
Yeah, I mean, like we heard about this thing like what? I think it was earlier this year. I think is what it was.
I believe
around
that's the first time it came.
Like maybe May-ish range is when we kind of talked about it. So now it's finally picking back up into conversation, because like I think it was around that range, because it was like, oh, is it going to be at the Xbox Showcase?
Yeah, because we joked about it being like, Bethesda just being like, hey, here's this. Now let's work on 6.
Yeah, here's this to tide you over.
This is one where I'm less excited about it than you would be.
Yeah, that's
purely because like that was your game.
That was my game. Yeah,
I was about to say,
I love
that's
Oblivion.
the only Elder Scrolls game I really got into was Oblivion too.
Love Oblivion to death.
Because it's a thing of every Elder Scrolls player. It's like if you were there for Morrowind, then that's your favorite game.
Morrowind.
If you started with Oblivion, then you don't understand all the Skyrim people. I started with Skyrim and tried to go backwards. You can, but it's weird.
Yeah. It is. No, if this is like if this gets revealed in January to come out next year, this is immediately one of my most anticipated games, because I love Oblivion so much. So apparently built with Unreal Engine 5, is coming out next year, in production since 2019, and being done by Virtual Studio, which was the original leak or to begin with, was Virtual Studio being the one handling it. I can't remember for sure. I meant to fact check this before putting this on the script, but I want to say maybe there was already like some sort of small confirmation there was a developer direct next month. I want to say I saw something about
speculation.
That. Speculation. Okay. I know I saw something about it. I just can't remember what it was. So hopefully that is the case. Developer direct next month. Hopefully this closes developer direct and adding another great game to an ungodly stacked 2025.
I read that earlier, because it was, as people are getting hyped up for it, people are starting to think that there will be a developer direct to announce and release this pretty much immediately.
Actually, now that I think about it, having developer direct next month makes sense anyway, right? Because we have Avowed coming out in February. So you would think at some spot in the developer direct, we're going to have an Avowed focus point. So that makes sense. I'm locking in developer direct next month. Here we go. That makes sense to me. Maybe lead off the developer direct with Oblivion and end with Avowed. I don't know. Or start with Avowed, since we already know what it is, I guess. Yeah, start with Avowed. Go through an Avowed segment, and then end the developer direct with Oblivion. 10 out of 10 idea. Let's go.
Like a fucking slap in the face to Obsidian, though.
Actually, that would be. Now that you mentioned it.
It's like we're gonna make because it's like think about every other time. It's like Sony does it, Nintendo does it, where they make a showcase specifically for a game.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
it's like to
and
be
then
like
you end with something that's not even that property.
Yeah, that's fair.
To be like, hey.
Well, developer directs usually show off like 3 to 4 games, don't they?
Yeah, but if you, but they generally have a focus around a game.
That's fair.
But you
unfortunately, with Oblivion specs, if you threw that at the end of the Avowed showcase, everyone would be talking about Oblivion.
And also,
not Avowed.
Also, you'd be like, hey, we're gonna start off with Avowed. And then, hey, Avowed, remember what you're competing against?
Yeah, basically. So, good point. Never mind. Never mind. May not get Oblivion next month. Maybe get Oblivion after Avowed comes out. All right, let's see. Next up, had a lot of Trails news. John, you got some of your wishes here.
Yeah,
you got some big news out of this.
It was funny because you started messaging me earlier in the month about like potential next Trails game and that, and you were like, it could be revealed tomorrow. I'm like, well, I have a feeling it would be revealed on the 16th when the live stream's happening of all the stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a lot of Trails news. Big thing that I've been preaching about and wanting. We're getting remasters.
They're
going to
really
remaster
nice.
the shit out of that series.
Yeah.
I mean, they have tons of time to do it, and make so much more money off it again.
No, because I mean, like as we already know, they have the remake of the first game, which going through the the Trails like catalog, it's the first 4 I believe that are still trapped on like the PSP or Vita or whatever, and I think it's like Trails into like Azure or something like that is like the earliest one that's available on like Switch.
Sounds right.
But yeah, so we have Trails in the Sky first chapter. The announcement there is that it is getting collector's edition through limited run games. Standard physical editions are also planned for NA and EU. Apparently, Amazon's going to be carrying the NA physical edition specifically. And that is coming set for fall. But then part of this whole news process is the Wise versus Trails game. In the Sky Alternative Saga is coming to Steam in 2025, as well as a PC, PS4, PlayStation 5, and Switch. Remastered graphics and 60 FPS support. I did see rollback netcode was a thing. Shout out to that. Couch and online multiplayer, English voice acting, a collection of wallpapers and OSTs from different titles, additional PC support. And then this whole thing did end with what John said, is that there are going to be more remasters coming in the future for Trails games.
That's great. That's pretty much everything I was asking for.
Yeah. I mean, we have the second Daybreak game, already came out in Japan. It's coming out here in the West, I think, in February.
Okay.
Both Daybreak games did incredible from a reception standpoint. I think the next actual main line, Trails game's already been announced to come out in Japan either, I think, later this year or next year. So I mean, like the series, the one piece of gaming is still just very much moving forward. So it's nice to see the remasters coming along, because this is a game that I'm also interested in getting into. I want to pick up the first chapter when it comes out and start from the beginning, and hopefully the second and third will come after it as well. So yeah, this was honestly a top to bottom really cool set of news. Really happy about this one.
I mean, this was just a lot of this was exciting. I wanted to know some of this is a lot of what I asked for is. I mean, this and still more. It's just accessibility. Give us access to them. Let us play them.
Yeah.
Remake
especially on
remaster.
games that aren't on the system that's as dead as PSP.
Yeah,
Well, it's like
facts.
PSP. There's 3DS stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we don't really have access to that anymore.
Right.
So give it anything to give us access to it. Again, I'm a big fan of.
Yep. And your wish doesn't stop there, my friend, because Bandai Namco is also planning to release remastered Tales of titles fairly consistently.
Yeah.
Starting with what? The Tales of Grace?
Well,
F,
Tales
whatever?
of Grace's F has a remaster.
Which is coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the next one coming out. They've been doing them. It's been
Fairly
a little bit
frequently.
It's been a little infrequent because it's been like we get one and then like 3 years later we get another one.
Yeah, because they did Symphony. Did they do a remaster of Vespera?
Vespera was about, I think it was like 2019
That sounds right.
when we got it. But yeah, apparently it's a big project, or one of their big projects is to basically go through and consistently release remasters.
My question is, how are they actually going to go back to the beginning Tales games, or is it going to be only the ones from like the PS2 onward era?
Now, that's a good question.
I would assume that they'll go back to the beginning because essentially what they've been doing is they've been hitting
The best sellers,
the most popular, the ones everybody loves, and then
Yet you and me haven't got a Zillia.
It's one of the most requested. It's basically like the next one on the list if they were gonna hit that would be Zillia.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like they've basically hit like the top 4 or 5 best-selling like Tales games. So we're either gonna start going back to the beginning, or they're just gonna keep hitting them as most popular down the list as they can.
Yeah. Which again, just having more access to stuff on updated graphics, even just a remaster, that's great on modern consoles and stuff.
Yeah.
So just more availability is better, especially for some of these titles. So shout out to that.
Yeah.
Hey, we did get finally we got some gameplay for Exodus. A gameplay trailer finally dropped. I have unfortunately not watched the full trailer. I've watched snippets that I saw on Twitter, and the snippets I saw looks incredible. Definitely big Mass Effect vibes, 100%, as it was kind of being set up to be. This title is very high on my anticipation list. Very excited for this one. Octopath Traveler series sold over 5 million units. Big shout out to Octopath Traveler.
Not just across 1 and 2.
Yep, it's across both of them. Yep. All right, so I put this in here for a very specific reason. All right, I know this. I know you guys may read this and be like, "All right, who gives a shit?" Right? But I do have this in here for a reason. Jason Ronald, he is the lead architect for the Xbox Series X and S, has been promoted to the vice president of the next generation. The reason that this is in here is because I wanted to give a PSA about this because, oh my God, when I saw this news, my first thought was, these comments should be pretty interesting. And I was right. Where it was a mix of a lot of things. There was a lot of people like, ha, there's not going to be another generation for Xbox. They've given up. Number one, okay, yeah, it does kind of feel like Xbox is giving up. Everything's going third party. But number two, realistically, there's going to be another console. So let's pump the brakes on that. But what killed me was just the overwhelming amount of comments of hate on this, saying how like, oh, well, we're screwed. Look at how this generation's gone. Architect is something completely different. Dude, hardware and software are two different things.
Yes, they are.
If he is the architect of the box itself, the dude deserves the promotion because the box itself is impressive. It may look like a mini fridge, but it's a powerful console, dude. The Series X is impressive for what it is, and the Series S, while everyone can agree, including the smart people in these comments agreed, it should not exist. It does exist. And honestly, it's pretty impressive what they were able to put in there for $300.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, separate hardware from software. The hardware is good. It's just the software is what's lacked, guys. Like, come on. Seriously, you guys should see these comments. It's mind-numbing how stupid they are. Because it's like, dude, hardware and software are two different things. If this guy was the architect of the box itself, he deserves the promotion. He did a good job. It's a well-built console. It's impressive what's in the box. Even though the S shouldn't exist, it's impressive what you got in there for $300. Kudos to him. But software is something else, guys. Calm down. The comments on this was unbelievable. Shout out to Jason Ronald, VP of the next generation. At the very least, the next console is going to run like a beauty. But
Yeah.
hopefully he learned his lesson and we don't have another S.
I mean, it didn't burn to death like a PS5, so.
Yeah, true. True. So, I don't know. Either way, just wanted to shout that out because those comments were mind-numbing, man. All right, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance will delist on February 24th, 2025. Servers will shut down. Base game and all DLC will remain playable in offline single-player mode, though.
Woo!
But game's delisted. So
Hey, it's a fun game. I have it.
yeah,
I'm cool.
So if you want to play it, offline, you gotta need to get it right now before you can't buy it anymore. Or just buy the physical edition, I guess.
It's probably on sale currently.
Yeah, probably. Here's something that we've been hoping and praying for forever. Report. Ubisoft wants to change the Far Cry formula with Far Cry 7. Thank
God.
Change it, dude. We make jokes about it all the time. It's like, oh yeah, it's like we make jokes about Avatar where John was just like, I mean, that looks like a really cool skin for a Far Cry game. Because that's what it was. So it's like, Jesus, man. It's like every Far Cry game is the same. When you played 7, I think you were the only one that played 7, right? 6. Yeah, 6. Thank you. You were the only one here that played 6, and you were just like, it's a Far Cry game.
Yeah.
It's a Far Cry game.
It hasn't changed much since 3. I mean, 3 was the base for their current Far Cry formula, which they took it better with 4. 5 was a pretty hard copy-paste. 6 was a harder copy-paste.
Yeah, like, we got to change it up, man. So, I like the Far Cry games. You know, they are fun. Some better than others. 3 and 4, especially I really, really enjoyed. 5 killed me.
You got to play it co-op. That's the only good way to play it.
Yeah, that's what both of you told me. 6, I haven't played it yet. Sooner or later, I'll try it. But, Primal, didn't care for it. New Dawn, didn't care for it.
You played New Dawn?
I played New Dawn. Yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. It wasn't fun.
We tried to not talk about New Dawn.
Yeah, I get it. I did try New Dawn. So please change the formula. Well, here's the thing. While Ubisoft is thinking about changing the formula with that, hey, good idea. But then on the other side, we have bad ideas. Like apparently year 2 content plan for Skull and Bones. Woo! Why?
Yeah.
What is Skull and Bones player base, I wonder?
That's what I want to know.
About 35.
It's getting like
know.
what Babylon's
You know
Fall
what's better,
levels.
though? It outlasted Babylon Fall, and it outlasted Concord.
Yo, facts.
I mean, they spent enough money on it. They have to keep it up for a little while, or they're probably gonna get sued by the government again.
Yeah.
Very specifically, that one country that invested into it.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what country that was, but yeah, no, legit. For anyone listening that does not know what we're talking about, like Skull and Bones, like literally had to come out. If they didn't, they were going to get sued by an entire country.
See, this is why I was hoping they were going to have a lawsuit this year.
Yeah, that was one of your predictions. You were close.
You know,
You know what's sad? You know what's funny, dude? I looked up, like I saw that prediction when I was updating them all recently. And I'm like, did anything happen? I'm like, Skull and Bones lawsuit. I'm trying to find something, and I found an article that like talked about like in the lead article, it's like Skull and Bones lawsuit, this that. I'm like, oh, did it happen? Did it happen? No, it didn't. It wasn't involving Skull and Bones specific lawsuit. It was just mentioning someone that worked on Skull and Bones was involved with a lawsuit. I'm like, damn, so close. It's like Mike could count that, but it's so
No,
close because it was
no.
this year. It was this year too. It was like June. I was like, oh damn, Zach was so close. We were so close. Oh man, but no, year 2 content planned. I don't know why.
Hey, man,
Shout out.
for anybody that's out there enjoying yourself in Skull and Bones.
Godspeed.
Kudos to you.
What's it like?
Yeah, just let us know. We want to know.
I feel like, didn't we have like one comment or whatnot in one
Yeah,
of our
we
videos
did, yeah.
where someone was like, it's a lot better than it looks.
Yeah, it was. I think it was on a TikTok or a short. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, or maybe just a video. But someone did comments like, I've got friends that's play it, and they've all said it looks better than it looks, kind of thing. Still not great, but it's not as bad as you would think. And I'm like, all right, I'll take your word for it, bub.
Yeah, maybe it's not like it doesn't feel terrible to play.
Yeah.
It's just you may not have a whole lot to do.
True.
It could just be like when Sea of Thieves came out.
That's
there
fair.
wasn't a whole
Yeah.
lot to do, but people did it because they liked the environment. They liked the feel of it.
And
Yeah.
now Sea of Thieves is going, what, like 5 years strong now?
Yeah, it's like what, like season 15 or something crazy.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and they have like cute, like crazy collabs and crossovers and shit.
Which
like,
is all still content in the game. None of it disappeared.
Yeah, like Skull and Bones, not Skull and Bones. Sea of Thieves is popping, man. Shout out. The last thing I had was just that, like John mentioned earlier, Helldivers 2 controllers up for pre-order. So shout out to that. You guys got anything else news-wise to add? Anything I forgot?
I don't.
I've mentioned it before. I've probably mentioned it every week since it got announced. But it's the last episode of the year. Baldur's Gate 3 Patch 8 coming out. New subclasses coming out sometime next year. We don't know exactly when it's happening. Maybe it happens on the first of the year, and I'll be doing another run of Baldur's Gate.
Hey, there we go.
Currently, as much as I'm excited about Clair Obscura Expedition 33 is my most anticipated game of the year, I am most looking forward to a Baldur's Gate playthrough right now with the new classes as a co-op run.
There you go. Also, shout out to Expedition 33 with that special edition that's out. Got that on pre-order. So excited for that. No, I can't think of anything else. So I think with all that said, all that's left is Gamestetic Game of the Week. John, last episode of the year, bub. Last Gamestetic Game of the Week. Send us off in style. What do we got?
I'm going to go fairly simple here. Gamestetic Game of the Week. Game called Raft.
Okay. All right.
It's a game you can play solo. You can play it co-op with some friends. The idea is that you spawn in, you're on a raft, and it's like you collect resources as you kind of sail along and try to build up your raft. You make tools, expand the raft, kind of eventually make your way up. It like most survival games do. It's a fairly simplistic system with it though, but it's a lot of fun. And you can sail around, explore islands. There's a loose kind of story happening where you can kind of follow the trail, and there's a bit of like what happened, what made the world covered in so much water and that. But the enjoyment of the game is kind of just sailing around, fishing, exploring islands, and just having a blast. I've played it some. Played it to kind of what they had at the last point that I did. So I think more content's been released since the last time I played it. So need to go back at some point and play it again. And I do highly recommend playing it with other people as well.
Shout out. Good way to end Gamestetic Game of the Year. Gamestetic Game of the Week for the final episode of the year. And then when we come back with episode 200, shout out to 200, Jesus. here in a couple weeks, I'll do Gamestetic Game of the Week, and I'll debate if I want to do a banger of a game since it's episode 200, first episode of the year, or just kind of continue the trend that we've been doing where we just kind of go with like more under the radar games. We'll see. We've only done like I think like maybe 2 bangers is all we've done. I think most of them's like a lot of under the radar.
Most of it's mostly been like throw out big notable games when we forget about it and we got nothing.
Yeah, true. We, try to avoid the big ones, So where it's just one of those days.
Everybody knows about them.
Yeah.
It's like even
ideally,
even Raft. It's like most people know about Raft, but it's a good time.
I mean, it's a nice touch on because it's been a couple years since it was real prominent.
Yeah.
So
also, it's probably on sale right now in the Steam sale.
is.
So if you haven't picked it up, it's a good time in the year going to the next year with a nice fun co-op game.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the games that we've thrown out there as Gamestetic Game of the Week, I mean. The most notable ones on here would be, I would say, Stray, Tales of Xillia, Soul Calibur 2, Persona 4 Golden. To an extent, I guess it's a little niche, obviously, but Legacy of Goku, Biomutant, Pokemon Conquest. Honestly, the Wild Arms series in general, it's kind of, to the wayside these days.
Oh, it's super dead.
Yeah, but
God, you did Conquest.
Yeah.
That was me.
I know. I was looking at you and I said, "You bitch."
Age of Mythology.
That's your reaction during that episode too.
It was because I remembered it again.
Yeah. Nah, I mean we've got a pretty fun little list though. But yeah, you were so mad at me when I did Pokemon Conquest.
That's because it was the next game on my list.
But I mean we've had we had the first Yakuza. Shout out to that. So I mean we've had a few notables, but we had a lot of games. It's like maybe someone hadn't heard of it. Maybe you need to check it out. So. Yeah,
I know when my weeks are. Looking at this
Look at the list, yeah. when I think any of our weeks are, when we look at this list. So
there's only been a couple where it's usually like me and Alex where we throw something out. It's like, oh, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
'Cause I know you gave me the same reaction when I did Biomutant.
Yeah. I was mad about Biomutant. So I had to one up you the next week with Pokemon Conquest. It is funny how that worked out week to week. So. But yeah, again, shout out to Gamestetic Game of the Week. If you've been following along with every single week, we appreciate the hell out of you for that. And we'll come back with episode 200, and I'll do something. I don't know what it'll be, but I'll do something. We'll have fun. All right, boys. I think it's time to hit the music and for us to get out of here. So again, we will not have an episode next week for the holidays. So hopefully you have a wonderful Christmas, a happy New Year, safe New Year, and we'll be back on the 4th. I think it's the 4th. Let me look again to confirm that. I'm pretty sure it's the 4th. It is the 4th. We'll be back January 4th with episode 200, where it'll be the 2025 outlook of gaming, as well as our predictions for the year. Which shout out to John for having a winning record on predictions this year. That is a first for here on the show. So let's hit the music. Let's get out of here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. Leave us a comment of any kind of predictions you may want to see in 2025, and we talk about it next episode, beginning of the year.
Yeah, do everything he said and more. And if you made it to the end of this episode with us, let us know down below what your overall game of the year for yourself would have been. And if you like seeing these episodes, we do them live, usually every Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time. Of course, we'll be taking next week off.
Yeah.
Forgot the date there. Yeah, we'll be taking next week off, but we'll be back after that.
Make sure to check out our 2 sponsors, Agent Inc. and Rogue Energy, with the referral links down below. Promo code Sparky3 at Rogue Energy. Get 10% off your order, and we'd appreciate that. Join the Discord, be a friend, tell a friend. Check out our Patreon, and we'd appreciate that extra support. And thanks so much for listening to the show in any capacity that you do, listening or watching, the clips, the TikToks, the shorts, anything, whatever. We appreciate it so much, and looking forward to a phenomenal 2025 of gaming and a phenomenal 2025 for Gamestetic. Cheers, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, have a great day.